to Rise and Flow. This class is built around one simple idea. Most people know how to work hard. Most people know how to rest. Very few people know how to move smoothly and freely between the two. Throughout today's practice, we'll explore effort and recovery, movement and stillness, and the relationship between breath, body, and awareness. We'll begin with a simple mantra practice. If chanting isn't your thing, that's completely fine. You can listen, hum along, or simply sit quietly and breathe. The purpose isn't to perform anything perfectly. It's simply an opportunity to arrive and become present. Many of today's postures will be practiced for either a set number of repetitions or a timed interval. Feel free to pause the video and move at your own pace or simply follow along with my timing. Either approach is perfect for today's class. We'll also be using a breath technique commonly known as sniff and throw. A rhythmic breath in through the nose, out through the nose, while connecting the breath to the movement. If at any point you begin to feel dizzy, lightheaded, or overwhelmed, simply slow down, pause, and return to a normal breath. You can always rejoin the practice whenever you're ready. After many of our working sections, we'll release the breathing pattern and take a deep breath in, and we'll hold the breath comfortably with the lungs full for a brief period before exhaling and returning immediately to stillness. These moments of rest are just as important as the movements themselves. For today's practice, we might want one block, one strap, and one blanket or towel folded up or something equivalent. And we're going to begin in a comfortable seat. I like to use that block. All right, you could just find cross-legged here, maybe with that right leg in front. I like to have this foot kind of tucked in here so that the knees can reach down. The whole point is the hips lifted and the spine tall, all the vertebrae of the spine here stacked. All right. Now, before we begin our mantra practice, I'd like to start by saying if the mantra isn't part of your practice, that's completely okay. You're welcome to listen, hum along, repeat the words, or simply sit quietly and breathe. One thing I've noticed over the years is that when I use a phrase in my native language, my mind tends to grab onto the words and start thinking about them. It starts analyzing, judging, planning, remembering, and doing what minds do. For me, using a mantra in a different language helps me experience the sound more than the meaning. It gives my mind less to hold on to and makes it easier to settle into the present moment. The mantra we'll use today is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Many people translate it as honoring or bowing to the inner teacher, inner wisdom, or inner guidance that already exists within us. You don't have to believe anything. You don't have to adopt any particular philosophy. Today, we're simply using sound, breath, and repetition as a tool to help us arrive more fully in awareness. Whenever you're ready, let's begin. So, in that comfortable seated position, allowing yourself to arrive just as you are, we're going to use our mantra, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, or whatever you feel comfortable with. We're going to sit tall, let the vertebra of the spine stack and the eyes close down, attention inside on the breath. We're going to take two relaxing breaths to begin. So inhale, relaxing exhale. We'll take one more, and at the bottom, at the next inhale breath, we'll begin. Good. Exhaling to clear the lungs. And our final inhale breath to begin the chant. Om Nam Guru Re Namo. Inhale breath for round 2 when you're ready. Om Nam Guru Re Namo. Last one. Om Nam Guru Dev Namo. Relaxing. Letting the breath return to breathing for you. Feeling the vibrations created in the body through this relaxing practice. And as we feel ready, maybe wiggling the fingers, blinking the eyes, awake to bring ourselves back. And we'll set that seat and props here off to the side for our next practice. We're going to be doing a lot of work here on the hands and knees through the next few positions. So, whichever type of ground you're on, I like to use, even with the yoga mat, I like to use a little extra cushion for the knees. So maybe that blanket under the knees here. And we're going to find this practice with the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees for cat cow. All right. So with that sniff and throw breath, we'll inhale the chest and the heart open and exhale, push it away around the mid back. This is the first movement of class, connecting the breath to the movement. So we'll go slow to begin. We're going to have 3 minutes total here. And in the last minute, I'll give us the option for moving faster, right? But just move at your own comfortable pace. So for 3 minutes here, let's begin. Inhale the chest and the heart open. Exhale, push it away. Good. Bringing your attention to the belly button. Inhale, reaching the belly button down to the mat. Exhale, lifting it through the tailbone and low back. Doing great. Just bringing some movement into the spine, some blood flow with the breath. You have the option here to pick up the pace if you feel open to it. Otherwise, just stick with the same pace. Last feel. Okay, we're going to take our big inhale breath here. Comfortably hold the breath, squeeze the belly. And exhale, breath, sitting back to the heels. Gently rest. Letting that comfortable heart rate and breath return and start to breathe for you. Feel the heart rate and the blood pumping through the body. These little vibrations traveling through, maybe tempting you to move or fidget, but letting all of that just flow to you and straight through you. And this becomes the heart of our rise and flow practice. We're going to begin moving forward here, leaning forward, and in that hands and knees position this time, we're working through a practice similar to bird dog. So we're going to be taking that right leg straight back, right? Holding this chin and chest forward as we do. And then as we exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose, right? We're going to do this 30 times. And then we'll take that inhale breath to reach that right leg up and back and comfortably hold the breath a little bit, squeeze the belly. At the end, exhale to release. We'll find that left side before we find our moment of stillness and rest, right? So we'll go from the right to left side. And we're going to do 30 on each time. You could pause the video here, or you could just follow, start and stop with me, and the number that you do will be enough for today. So for that right side, we're going to begin. Inhale that right leg up and back. Good. Keeping that chin and chest forward, and exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose for 30 here. Begin. As you get comfortable, you could start to move a little quicker, or just at your own pace. Good. Inhale that right leg up and back. Hold, breathe. Hold, squeeze. Gently release. And this left side here, when you're ready, inhale that left leg up and back. Good. Exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose. 30 times. Begin. Good. Keep it going. Last few. Big inhale, breath up and back. Hold, squeeze. Exhale. Sitting back to the heels here, rest, falling just into that moment of stillness. All right. As we let this go, we're going to be bringing ourselves to a kneeling position with the big toes together and knees wide. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my blanket here wide for the knees. And then if this position is uncomfortable for the knees, long term like me, you could just use a block here under that seat, okay? The goal here is not to stress out the knees or ankles. We want a really supported seat where we feel stable. And then we're going to be bringing the arms in front of the body to gently hold the elbows and sitting tall, finding a side to side motion here, inhaling center and exhaling up and over. We want to be careful that we're just side bending here, working with the sides of the body, avoid twisting. All right. We're going to do this for 1 minute here. So holding those arms and inhaling center, exhaling up and over for 1 minute, and begin. Just to your place today. Inhale center, exhale up and over. Good. Good. Inhale center here, big breath. A little bit comfortable. Hold the breath, pause. Gently release. Little moment of stillness here. As we gently bring ourselves back. We're going to be finding a twisting motion with the spine next, being sure that we're holding that belly, lower abdominal contracted in, right? And also that these legs and inner thighs, everything is a stable base for us to twist, all right? We're not looking for a adjustment or forcing the spine. Then we're going to be sitting tall, bringing the maybe fingertips to touch the shoulders, all right? And we're going to inhale to the left and exhale to the right, all right? So for me, I like to keep the eyes open for this one. It helps me focus more on my alignment. And we're going to find uh, 30 times on each side here, right? Sitting tall, fingertips, the touch. You could start and stop with me or pause and do your own number of repetitions at your own pace. We'll inhale breath to the left and exhale to the right. Begin. Good. Big inhale, breath center. Sitting tall, a little bit pause with the breath. Relaxing, exhale to stillness and rest. Fresh energy and vitality washing over you. Body and the breath becoming light, and the movements and everything starting to feel a little bit more effortless. So we've got one more position here that we're going to bring the knees together. So we'll still be kneeling, knees and feet together. And for this one, I'm going to just move the cushion and the block. If you need to, you could take a seated position here, but one day we'll build towards being kneeling and having the heels together instead of falling out to the side, right? You can also have a little cushion under the seat, in between the seat and the ankles, or you could bring that support under the ankles. All of these are good options to find this kneeling position a little bit more comfortable. And it's not the goal to stress out the ankles or feet. All right. Then, with the hands on the thighs sitting tall, we're going to inhale the chest and the heart forward and exhale, reach the heart back. Find the movement here from the center of the body. And we're going to find this for 108 repetitions here. So inhale forward and exhale back for 108 here. Begin. on the movement from the body, from the heart, with the breath. You're doing great. You can always lean forward, readjust the ankles. Last few, about 10. Good. Inhale, breath, the chest and the heart open, shoulders back. And pause. Gently exhale to relax. As we lean forward, take your time here to release the back of the knees, ankles, and feet. We're doing all this work in a kneeling position. We're just going to be nice to those ankles and feet. Whatever movements you feel you need. And when you feel you've stretched enough, we're going to move that blanket or towel out of the way if you had it. And this is where we might want the block or blocks. So we'll bring ourselves up to standing. And if the ground seems far away for you, you can use the blocks here instead of reaching the hands to the ground. But we're going to have the feet about hip width distance apart. And we're going to be reaching the hands to those blocks or maybe to the mat one day. All right. As we lift, we're going to be reaching the arms up and back into this back bend and exhale down. So we want to be careful to keep the hips over the heels, not shooting way far out in front of the feet. And we want to reach the arms back so that the chest and the heart are opening in this back bend and reaching forward in this forward fold. We're going to do this for 30 times together. And here we go. Touching the thumbs together in front of the body. Inhale up and back. And exhaling down, go. Good. View. big inhale breath here, up and back. Hold the breath. Exhaling down here. Hands to the blocks or to the mat. Release. Let gravity take over. Let yourself feel this stretch into the back of the legs and body, but also find the place where you're releasing into it and letting gravity do the work for you. Not having to hold on or grit your teeth till the end. You're just letting yourself exist where you feel comfortable today. Not needing to reach to go further. Allowing yourself to fall into it when the time comes. Maybe one day feeling this connection of the hands and the feet to the mat. As we come out of this one, we'll bend the knees, let the upper body hang, and we'll lean back, inhale breath, rounding the spine one vertebra at a time, all the way up here. Standing, maybe a little bend in the knees and a comfortable breath. Good. Then we'll just bring ourselves back down to a seated position. No rush. Good. So for this next one, we're going to be seated with legs wide in a straddle position. And I'll be instructing us halfway to take the legs wider. Okay. So we'll do a scaled version of this practice. And we'll just do 2 minutes with that second minute being option for taking the legs to a wider position if you have room. So we'll start maybe about halfway. And then you could have the hands on the legs, ankles, or maybe one hook the big toes, and we inhale center, exhale up and over. Inhale center, exhale up and over. So you're bowing the forehead, crown of the head down, but you're also getting the spine in line with that leg and knee. You might not touch all the way down today like me, but find your own place and working towards there. I used to barely be able to move in this one, right? So we'll start for 2 minutes here. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over, begin. Good. This one's so good for strengthening and opening up the back body, the posterior chain. This last minute here, maybe you could take the legs a little wider if you had room. You might not reach the hands all the way to the feet. That's okay. Just use the arms for support as you need. Good. Inhale, center. Hold the breath. Pause. And gently exhale, folding here any amount. You could keep the hands where you had them, or maybe bringing them out in front if you need. We're relaxing here into this fold, taking your time. Good. We're going to gently inhale breath, push into the hands to lift up and lean back. When you feel ready, we're going to scoop the knees from the inside here to bring the soles of the feet together. All right. You can bring those feet forward for this practice. If you have room, you'll bring the hips forward, but you'll also reach the chest and chin forward to lift the crown of the head. Hands on the legs, ankles, or feet. And we're going to find this little bounce with the knees, feet pressing down, and crown of the head lifted for 1 minute. Begin. Little bounces, butterfly flaps of the wings, but very gently warming up those inner thighs. And they're going to take an inhale breath to let the bounce go of the knees. And relaxing exhale breath here, a little bit fold. Gently lifting up here. So we're going to be inhaling to lift the body, exhaling to fold here. I want us to one day using the outside of the legs and the feet pressed together, everything working in unison to move the body. But until then, we can use the strength of the arms to help protect the spine and thinking about that lower belly. There we go. Inhale up and exhaling down. We're going to find this for 1 minute. Begin. Reaching the forehead, maybe crown of the head down. But those lower belly, that perineum engaged. Good. Last few. This one will always mess up your hair. That's okay. The end here. We'll inhale, lifting up. A little bit pause with the breath, squeeze the belly. Exhale, fold here. And then gently push yourself up. Leaning back, we're going to close the knees like the pages of a book, and we're going to be lying back here, just legs long, spine flat to rest. Taking as long as you need here. You can pause the video, bring yourself back. But then we're going to be doing a practice through bridge. And for this one, we'll be one day holding on to the ankles and feet, but maybe not like me. That day might not come, right? What I like to do though, because we want to have a connection with the hands and the ankles, is I'll use this yoga strap, or you could even use a blanket, a towel, long sleeve t-shirt or belt. But this just gives me something to hold on to and then keep everything connected here, moving together. So as we lift the hips by pressing the feet, inhale, breath, lift, and exhaling down, we can keep those knees over the heels using this strap, right? So that they're not shooting way far out in front of the feet. And we're going to do this for 24 times together. So we'll inhale, lift the hips, and exhale, rest, and begin. Last one here. Inhale, lifting the hips. Hold, breathe. Exhale, release. Just relax here. Take the legs long. Let the strap go. And then we're going to be working with this practice to activate that lower abdominal and top of the thighs and hips. So you're going to lift the legs, knees over the hips. If you like, for today, you could have the hands under the low back for a little extra support. But we're keeping those feet a little bit flexed, kicking the heel forward and the opposite. We'll inhale one leg forward and exhale the other. And then halfway through this, we'll switch, inhaling the opposite leg forward, exhaling the other leg. Now, we want to keep the legs in line, kind of like two pistons, and avoid this bicycling movement where you're going in a circle, right? So it's straight forward, straight back. Keeping that lower belly in. We're going to do this for 1 minute total. I'll signal us halfway to switch the inhale leg and the exhale. All right, here we go. Lifting those legs up for 1 minute here. Inhale, one forward, and exhale, the other. Begin. Good. Last few. And both legs forward, inhale, reach. Option 2, you could reach the arms. Exhale, relax. Good. We're going to bend the knees, feet on the mat. We're going to hook the thighs, and we're going to gently pull the legs in to lift the tailbone and release, right? Start with this kind of rocking chair movement. One day you could get a little bit bigger with these spine rolls, massaging the vertebra of the spine on the mat. We'll do this for 1 minute. Begin. Avoid pressing the head and neck into the mat. It's just the back. Just a regular breath here. Feeling this massage on the back with the mat. And then we can roll to one side, push yourself up, or roll all the way up. And we're going to just bring ourselves across the legs here to the hips and chest on the mat. Good. So we're going to be doing this sort of Sphinx pose variation or up dog, maybe seal pose, where we press into the hands to lift the elbows and the chest, but the hips stay on the mat, right? It's a big opening for the lower belly, front side of the hips. And then we're going to be doing a breath practice known as breath of fire through the nose, where we forcefully exhale, and at the bottom of our breath, we relax the belly for an automatic inhale. It's kind of like a dog panting, but through the nose. And you'll feel the belly moving in and out like a bellows fanning a flame. So we're going to, with the chest lifted and that breath practice, staying for 1 minute. And at the end of that minute, we're going to inhale breath in the center, exhale the head over to the right side. Sorry, big inhale breath over to the right side to hold the breath. And then exhale center, inhale to the left, exhale center, and we'll rest. All right. This is a lot. We'll get better with this through repetition and practice. So when we're ready here, lifting the chest, we're going to take one inhale breath, but we're going to exhale to empty to begin the practice. Breath of fire, 1 minute, begin. Inhale, breath. Look over the right shoulder towards the right heel. Good. Pause and exhale, center. Inhale, breath over the left shoulder towards the left heel. Pause. Exhale, center, and rest with the forehead to the back of the hands, the elbows wide. Good. I want you to gently push into the hands and lift yourself up here, hands and knees. And then I want you in a child's pose position here with the option for the knees together. You could bring the knees apart if you really need, but one day we'll have them together, reaching the forehead to the mat or block. We might stay here. And one day we can bring the hands behind the feet, palms facing up. Option 3, fingers interlaced behind the low back. And then option 4 here, you could reach those hands towards the sky. We're going to stay with a regular breath together in our option for 1 minute and begin. Good. Gently release here. No rush. So you can even bring yourself up and find a comfortable seated position here, cross-legged with that right leg in front. Our last practice before stillness and rest is Sufi grind. Some circles with the spine. We're going to bring our attention to the lower spine, the belly button, and we're going to inhale the chest and chin forward and exhale around back, trying to keep the seat attached to the mat. Let's find this for 1 minute in one direction. We'll switch halfway to the other direction. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Good. As you pass through center here, you could switch to the other direction. Still inhaling forward and exhaling back. Good. Last few. When you're ready here, inhale center, sitting tall, relaxing, exhale breath to relax. You could stay here in this comfortable seated position, or maybe even bringing yourself down here to a comfortable lying on our back position. But we're going to take some time here to rest. Arms in, maybe palms up. And as we begin to settle here, notice how you feel. Not how flexible you are, not how hard you worked, not whether you did everything perfectly or not. Just simply notice. Notice your breath. Notice your state of mind. Notice your energy levels. One thing I love the most about this style of practice is that it reminds us that effort and rest were never meant to be enemies. We often spend our lives bouncing between the two, working until we're exhausted, then repeating the cycle. But somewhere in the middle is a different possibility: to work without forcing, to rest without escaping, to move with awareness, and to return to stillness without losing momentum. Today wasn't about mastering a posture or breath technique or mantra. It was about practicing that relationship again and again. The inhale and the exhale, the recovery, movement and the stillness. And just like balance, we don't find that relationship once, we return to it again and again. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed this class, I'd love to hear how you felt afterwards in the comments below. And if you'd like to continue practicing with me, you'll find more Rise and Flow, Balance and Beyond, and Unwind and Align classes here on the channel and journeythroughflow.com. For now, take one more deep breath before you rush off to the next thing. Give yourself permission to enjoy this moment. You've earned it. Namaste.